Hey there, my fellow planners, Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Zed City, episode 59, Theorycrafting. Alright, seems like the night crew needs a little back up. They've been trying to fend off the swarms by themselves. And in this instance, I will use fire. It may make sense to purposely trigger a rain event after like a next brief period of calm, maybe in about 4.5 days or so, to remove all the roofs over the columns and then force a rain event to both clear out the fire foam, which is preventing the fire from spreading to the corpses, and also get rid of the toxic sludge, and then to put the roofs back. Maybe only do the areas where there is toxic sludge, so that's only a few columns worth, which is easier to do than the whole system. Didn't anyone already use the sonnet? Yeah, multiple times. Oh god, don't do that. You're gonna shoot Nazi. And then she'll need another arm. Raffle timer's finished, thanks. Yeah, I think my audio cues are, like, broken right now. Oh, well. You reminded me, and you're the one that won. Look at that. Funny how that works. Totally not rigged. Oh, I didn't mean to hit the raffle timer. Supposed to hit that, if you wanted to rename. Hey, Redfield, just stay right there. Alright, it's just parked out of the way, because it's not a vehicle I think I'm going to need to use constantly, unless Pooker breaks down. But it will be used to get out to the ship. So, I need yet another colony project. One sec. How's it look out there? Not too bad. Less than 200 zombies. Probably enough zombies to stop us from easily driving out, as they're dense enough to cause some problems, but not fatally so. About 1,600 granite blocks. We're farming those granite blocks from the mountain so that we can build when we get out to the AI ship. And then everyone's becoming a better miner. Because it's also possible when we get out to the AI ship, instead of... There's a few different tactics, and it's a kind of a weird time to talk about those tactics, but there's a few different tactics that we can employ. One is that we can try to build around the ship itself to keep it protected. But since we are not hostile with any other factions, there's not going to be any enemy factions coming to mess with us while we're at the ship. It will just be zombies. And zombies won't inherently attack a ship. Plus, most of the ship parts aren't even flammable, if I recall correctly. Meaning that even if it was to be set fire, the ship won't catch. I could be wrong about that. I don't usually check the flammability of ship parts, but I think that might be true. Flammability 0 for the sensor cluster, 0 for the computer core, 0 for the caskets, 0 for the reactor, 0 for the engine. Yeah, so the ship won't be able to catch fire. Well, I didn't check the beams, but I don't think the beams. Yeah, 0 for the beams. So the ship can't catch fire. So there's not a lot of risk of zombies messing with the ship. Full stop. So then I have not seen what this map tile looks like. I know that it is, like, terrain-wise. It's year-round growing, which is kind of nice. It's arid shrubland, so it's not likely to have a lot of deep water. It could. It doesn't have a high disease frequency. So there's a few different strategies that we could do getting out there. We can try to employ the use of deep water like we had here, which I think is going to be the easiest thing to do. Alternatively, we could just wall up with dispersed doors. So another strategy to deal with a lot of zombies is to have, like, and I'll just, you know, paint you a quick picture, is to have, like, a large compound like this. And this is not to scale. A large compound like this where you have sections everywhere that contains doors in and out. So instead of my current strategy, where we're going with as few doors as possible to reduce the amount of zombies that can be attracted to our base, you do the flip side, and you go with as many doors as possible to evenly distribute the zombies around your perimeter with air pockets like this, so that if any zombie breaches, if you have a dangerous situation where they get in, what you do instead of, you know, actually fighting them and shooting them, is you just have a bunch of zombie shockers, so that you shock zombies that have been stuck in your compartments. Now, the weakness to this is certain zombies, like tank operators and the C4 zombies, can breach that because there's not a lot of easy counters. So the way to counter that would be then to have, if you can imagine that box being built back, imagine that. You have, like, long hallways that are just actually not with a door, where you can walk out to the end of the long structure, break the wall down that has not attracted zombies as a, because zombies are really only attracted to proximity colonists through doors or doors, right? So if you have, like, a long hallway like this, not that skinny, again, not to scale, you would want it wider so the zombies wouldn't sense you while you're in it. You could then break a section, and I get that this is very phallic, but it would be, you know, it would be built in every direction, like a giant plus sign or something like that. Where you can then break the end of the wall and get out where there hadn't been a big cluster of zombies gathered. So there's a bunch of different strategies, and the other strategy would go into the mountain and sort of turtle up, making it very difficult for zombies to reach you, essentially turtling for the duration that takes for the reactor to spin up. And then once the reactor is spun up, so, like, imagine this is our zombie complex. Once the reactor is spun up, we dig, like, an alternative tunnel to get out, where the zombies have all been attracted, coming inward into the subterranean complex. You dig an alternative path, board the ship, and just take off, juking the zombies. There's a bunch of different ways, and it entirely depends on the map tile. So this map tile, for instance, does not look like it has mountains, so a mountainous base is probably out of the question. I don't know whether it has lakes, so we might have to get creative and build some sort of, like, walled-in complex. Thankfully, the vantometric power cells will help us generate power the minute we get there, because we can uninstall them here and transport them over. And then we can also uninstall things like aircon units and hot water tanks, so that we can have air conditioning and radiators and hot water, running water, like, because the game is only going to give us, like, a day to set up a base. So it's going to be a frantic push to get, like, walls and construction up. So one of the reasons to do all this mining is to, A, have the granite blocks ready for a rather intensive construction project if we need to. And then B, all of the smoothing out will help to train construction skills so that we have a lot of highly skilled constructors for when the time comes to build those walls. Yeah, it's also possible to have fire mortars. Fire mortars aren't not going to be super efficient at killing zombies, only because zombies don't die very quickly from fire. So fire mortars work well when they're clustered tightly together. But if we have a large compound with you know, a high surface area of walls, zombies aren't clustered necessarily, meaning that mortars aren't all that effective as a result. Again, it's hard to say how I'll approach it until I'm actually physically at that map tile, because I have no idea what I'm working with. I haven't gone ahead and tried to figure it out, and I won't. It's going to be a surprise to me, purposefully. Why cheat? I want to be surprised instead. I'm probably going to get there and it's going to be some sort of like horrific map tile to try to defend. And that will be fun. So we are riding the roller coaster of threat. So maybe in about 3 days, what I'll try to do is clean up all this toxic sludge by removing the roof and triggering a fire. Oh, Lord. We're back up to, like, near 400. Got another C4. Another toxic. Another healer. I hear another... No, maybe it was the Tankia stuck up in here. I love how mad they are. I'm so glad that no mining zombie has spawned up there to free them. Get wrecked, zombies. Alright, so we did get Rocket Swarm Launcher. And the way these things work, if you weren't already aware, is once you build them, you can launch the reloads with chem fuel, and it's like a large area of effect, low damage. I'm not sure if it will do enough damage to actually kill zombies, or just like maim them. So that would be my one hesitation trying to use it, but at the moment we don't even have enough steel to even build one, so it's kind of a moot point. All the steel that we brought back from the last excursion went into Scorpio, the truck. Meaning that whatever next excursion we take is almost certainly going to be a steel gathering mission. Because we are pretty out of steel. Now, the next excursion could incorporate both Scorpio and Puker, increasing our maximum carry capacity up to 1,200 kilograms, which would be pretty nice. And the new deep water well, which is another thing that a lot of our steel went into, 100 of it, maybe not a lot, is helping to replenish our water amounts. So we're out of the critically low water count, which is awesome. Do zombies attack crypto caskets? Because that would cheese the problem. Yeah, like sitting in the caskets and just wait the 10 days. It's possible that they don't, but I'm not gonna cheese it. Whatever, you know, whatever the case might be. Not planning on doing that anyway. Would be a boring stream, yeah, just sitting there staring at a ship for the entire reactor spin up time. Staring at zombies do nothing but swarm pointlessly. One thing I don't know about, however, is I know that Zombieland spawns zombies based upon your colonists' population. It's one of the ways that you could do it. So down here, there's the colony multiplier, where it's like never more than X amount of zombies, because at some point you have so many zombies that your game starts behaving poorly, you know, because it's complicated. And then there's the colony multiplier. The colony multiplier is how many zombies per colonist, which is determined down here. So it's like roughly, during a zombie threat event, it's like 20 colonists per zombie that does not exceed 500. My point being, I don't know if Zombieland calculates deep slept, crypto slept colonists as colonists or not. I don't know. I haven't looked at the code, which means that, not that I'm going to exploit it, but it could be a situation where like you put 9 people in crypto sleep, you have 1 person awake, and you end up having to deal with like, you know, a tenth of the zombies that you otherwise have to deal with. You know, I have no intention of abusing that system if it indeed works that way in code. It's just food for thought if you wanted to understand the mechanics better. Silly albino thought they could dodge a minigun. You're not Neo. You can't dodge. Even Neo got clipped in the leg by a minigun, right? So planning an excursion. The pristine ruins are going to be gone. So I hope that... I have 7 days to plan because I really don't see myself leaving anytime sooner. It's possible we can leave it at day 3 mark if we clear it out enough. Maybe. But I wouldn't hold my breath about that. The range of the thumper. Like 15 or so. It's pretty finite. It's like, it's about this big in a circle, like a big sprinkler of like the actual attraction. You know what I've just realized is I probably need to put Madzi on the deck more often. She's the only non-20 shooter, so she could definitely... No one else is really benefiting from the shooting other than keeping themselves at level 20, but she's the only one non-20. Oh, and speaking of which, we have... Okay, so this swarm clustered and angered. I think they got stuck around these ruins and it pissed them off. So we have a swarm event going. And this warrants going red. Because in this swarm is a C4 zombie that has not blown up yet. Actually, it might have just blown up. I don't see it anymore. Yeah, it must have just gone poof while I looked away for a second. Oof, that door really got damaged. I need a new research project. Because we did get Rocket Swarm. Although I don't have the steel to make one. Something I would like at some point to get. One thing I have noticed is we haven't plugged bullets into the bathroom in a while. I don't know what that was about, but it seems to have stopped, which is nice. Got real tiresome repairing damage from bullets that went backwards for some reason. Smexy, thank you for the resub, man. A year of it, too. Cheers. Anniversary sub. All right. We have a lot of biosolids. I think it's safe to say that we can switch back to the smart toilets. And I'll just manage that. So whenever I see our biosolids decrease, I'll change the toilet type. Man, it's almost calm enough, depending on the drive. Like, if I knew that the caravan would exit south, I could drive out now. But if it exits northwest, it's suicide because there's so many zombies out that way. You guys want me to do drugs. Wake Up is not a terrible drug to make and rely upon when we get down to the AI ship. Because if we have like 24 hours to set up, you might want everyone to take a dose, or at least everyone with a good heart to take a dose of Wake Up to make sure that the base gets set up as much as it can be in that 24-hour period. Hab Joker, thank you for the resub too. Good day to you. Our meat supply has dwindled. How contaminated is it? All right, it's not that bad right outside, so I'm gonna go hunting. There's a bunch of horses that I wouldn't mind shooting at. I didn't realize we had such a voracious appetite for meat. Thought we had longer with all the hunting that we had done, but I was wrong. They're crawling out of the ground as I hunt. Just sketchy. AKA, I'm not that safe. These two are going north. That's a horrible idea. Alright. In order to make this work, I'm gonna have to paint a quick new zone. Because they're pathing stupidly back home. Redfield, you are restricted to Area 1. As is Exarch. Here we go. Now they're heading southbound back home, which is not going to have them walk into a swarm of zombies. Guero, you should be inside. In fact, the door is... access to getting inside is going bye-bye pretty quick. Yeah, because the whole swarm of zombies... Okay, so Redfield Fang, Exarch, come back here. Zeusin, come back here. Our path to get back is disappearing. We're getting cut off. And I don't want these three stuck outside. the swarm that was up there was attracted to the noise and is being drawn south to the entryway. Okay, let's go in through the garage door. Come on. Okay, that worked. Everybody inside now. Definitely re-upped our meat a bit, and no one got bit, so I call that a success. Exart's been out here so long with the gun that she's starving. Donuts and beer. Man, your name... Is that a combination that goes together? It's not one that I've ever tried, but that's an interesting name, and thank you for the sub. Oh, and Kilgore. I saw it and didn't mention it. Thanks for all the gifted subs. I'll go pink on your behalf. Cheers. So our next period of calm is coming up in about a day. I would say it's probably not worth killing them until we hit the next peak, which is in about 16 hours. Kill them off and then see if we can't make a trip out to a ruin. So, what direction to head for a ruin? I'll include south as well, but that doesn't mean we're going to the Pristines. Actually, the Pristine is gone. It's just two of your favorite things separately? I think I've actually had, like, beer battered donuts before. I don't recall if I like them or not. Cider donuts are good, but cider donuts are not alcoholic. I do love cider donuts. I used to live in New England, and the autumn fairs would have cider donuts, and they were phenomenal. They were dangerously good, where like you would eat one and then you'd eat 12 and then be like, man, my stomach hurts. What did I do? Realizing the power of a cider donut. Not to be underestimated. Truly. They're dangerously good. Ew, a cold snap. I'll have to keep an eye on the ambient temperature out. Right now, I don't think it's worth capturing the geothermal energy, but that might change. You were hearing cyber donut? No, cider, like apple cider donuts. I don't know how they're made, how they're different than normal donuts, but I can tell you they're pretty dang tasty. Not universal. I mean, you know, gotta make them well, but the concept is tasty. Right, buddy? He's never had one. He wouldn't know. Well, you guys really can't decide where I'm headed. Maybe I'll go northeast. I'll just combine them. Northeast, there's a big cluster of factories. Because I think the best way to approach these is like, if we don't obviously get something quick, just to leave. There's no point in, I mean, there's so many ruins, right? It's not like I'm going to run out of ruins. So if it looks bad, we'll just quickly do a cursory search. If it looks like it's not worth investing more time in, we just pull the plug and zip out of there. I think it's a very reasonable approach to ruin searching. I'm also setting up some more shelves because stockpile was getting a little gnarly. So we are coming off the peak. So I'll start clearing out the zombies, hoping to clear the field enough to allow a vehicle to go out. And then I have to decide how many vehicles are going out. 1 truck or 2 trucks. Because you have the cost-benefit analysis of, like, if we send too many people out to a ruin, we do inevitably leave the base less defended. So, because Guero isn't really used for base defense, sending Guero and Stormguard out each with their own truck is maybe a pretty reasonable thing to do, but I don't think I'm comfortable sending more than 2 people out. But it could be 2 people in 1 vehicle each. That's not unreasonable. But yeah, it's a risk assessment of whether we want to send, you know, 3 people out, 4 people out. I wouldn't. I'm not comfortable with that, but you could send half your colony out if you wanted to be a bit of a gambler. But given that I'm trying to avoid safe scumming, that's not worth it to me. Or avoid, you know, losing people, I should say. It's not just safe scumming. Alright, looks like we're going north. You like the background music for this? I, unlike a lot of people, actually kind of enjoyed Mass Effect Andromeda. I didn't think it was like a Mass Effect game, but it wasn't a bad game. I wouldn't give it like any, you know, I'd give it like a low 80 rating, which is still fun. There's plenty of low 80 games that I would play. But it did absolutely receive a lot of hate when it released. For me, I would say, however, the things that bother me most about games are not like just like weird graphical glitches, like an odd smile every now and then. Like that's not a game breaker for me. It's the core gameplay loops when they're boring. There's no game. It's not worth playing, right? Like little bugs can be fixed. When I play games for the first time and I'm assessing whether or not I want to create content about that or just even continue playing, it's like, is the core gameplay loop fun? If yes, you know, either wait for patches or try to download mods to fix the things that are broken. If no, don't bother. Forget it. Well, let's pull the plug. I ain't got time for a bad game. There's plenty of good games out there. So this garage door is not open, but it will be in a sec. And it looks like we're sending 2 trucks out. So it's going to be Guero and Stormguard heading out as a duo. So, I'm going to want to pack them first. And I'll try to do 200 fuel in each, 15 meals in each. So that if one vehicle gets disabled, it's not... We don't have to get to the disabled vehicle to get home to distribute the wealth. Is definitely the safer approach. So 3 beers in each, 3 tea in each. Where are my teas? 3 beer, 3 tea, 3 meds, 15 meals, and 200 chem fuel. Except... And I'm just doing herbal meds because I'm cheap. Okay, so we'll get those packed. I'm not going to bother with sleeping bags. They're kind of annoying to unpack. And I can't be bothered. There's almost always beds everywhere we go. And while in the vehicle, I don't think they use them. No, I could be wrong about that. I guess I'll add one and see if they actually use them on Excursion. So once they have the current cargo packed, I'll add 1 sleeping roll to one of them. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Zed City, which originally streamed live on Twitch December 10th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie slayers.